just a few thoughts about yesterday's basketball game between Tennessee and South Carolina. This loss basically underlines, solidifies, stamps that Tennessee will not make the tournament. Now, unpopular opinion, with the exception of early on in the season when they beat Washington, who turned out to not be very good, last I saw they were ranked in the bottom of the Pac-12, who's not a very good conference, and VCU, who I haven't followed. I'm not a huge basketball fan, but as far as I know, they aren't in the top 15 or the top 10. But other than the early season when they had Lamonte Turner, who I love and I really feel sorry for, I never thought they were going to make the tournament. But if you look at that Texas A&M loss, considering it was at home, and you factor in that they lost to South Carolina, who's a good team, give them credit, which I will throughout this video, then you come to the conclusion that it is mathematically impossible. Not only do you have a bad loss on your resume when you are already a bubble team, but you lose to another bubble team that could have given you a quadrant 2 win. You have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, I won't get into all of it. Look at bracketology. But that basically underlines they won't make the tournament. I'm still going to watch. When they make the NIT, I'm hoping to go. I went last time they lost to Mercer, so I'm hoping to go to the NIT game and the Tommy Bowl this year. But let's get into the reasons Tennessee lost the game. The biggest reason is that there were many opportunities when Tennessee had Carolina on the ropes, but they didn't throw that knockout punch. I remember specifically when Pons, who played great, give him credit, but we have to also be honest, he missed the front end of a one-on-one when Tennessee was up by 5. He makes that, Tennessee goes up by 6. He makes the other one, they go up by 7. But instead he misses it. Carolina gets the rebound, they score, and they cut the lead down to 4. That's why it's really big if you're ahead by a few points in basketball, 5. It can end up being a 7 or 8 point lead, or it can cut it, or the other team can cut it to 2 or 3 in the matter of seconds. There was another possession where Vescovi threw this amazing pass, and that kid's going to be something. But he throws this amazing pass to Bowden, and Bowden hesitates to shoot. You've got to take those open shots, whether you make them or not. Even if you wait later on in the shot clock, you're not going to get a shot that is that good. But he doesn't take the shot. And in particular, when Tennessee was up by 6, there were 3 possessions in a row where they did not score. In fact, they turned the ball over. Now, to be fair on one of them, Fulke was fouled, but he was in a bad position to begin with. But if you watch him, he was fouled by the South Carolina defender. But that's the main reason they lost. Now, did they get a favorable whistle? No. But in Alabama, they got a favorable whistle. Some games you get a favorable whistle, some games you don't. South Carolina, give them credit, was able to adjust, and Tennessee wasn't, unfortunately. Let's get into the officiating. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Unpopular opinion, I think the whistle favored South Carolina, but I also think Tennessee lost that game on their own merit. On that last possession, you had Fulkerson get the ball, and there was a charge called. Now, here's my thoughts on this. Humans have error. Humans have bias. All of us do. I don't think a game with that much postseason implication should be decided on a judgment call. Pretty much whoever lost this game, season was over. Whoever won this game, if they could maybe win most of their last games, maybe only lose 1 or 2 of them, could have made the tournament. So I don't think this should have been decided by the officials. But unfortunately it was. To me, it didn't look like it, but of course, I'm for Tennessee, so I'm going to have cognitive dissonance that favors my opinion. But to me, it did not look like a charge. And even if it was, the South Carolina player flopped. Can't blame the player. It's the officials letting the players get away with fouling. In the first few possessions of the game, you had more fouls than you did minutes played. I just don't think that officials should decide the future of the tournament. I don't think officials should decide games if they could help it. People pay good money to support the players and support the teams, not the officials, to blow their damn whistles. I almost said something worse. To blow their... I'm trying to keep this PG-13 if I can. I don't want to use explicit language because there could be families listening to this. But they kept blowing their darn whistles. People don't pay money to see that. I'm sorry, Pat Adams. People don't pay money to see you blow your whistle. They want to see the players play. You also had that one possession, because I'm trying to remember each individual possession, where Bowden dribbled the ball up the court. You had Vescovi, who was going to run that set off ball. Give Coach Martin credit. Give the South Carolina defense credit. They didn't let Vescovi get to that spot. And as a result, Bowden didn't know where to pass the ball to. The ball movement became stagnant. It was like a black hole. Bowden dribbled the ball and almost ran out the shot clock. He almost had tunnel vision, kind of like the quarterback of the football team did last year. I won't get into that. But he had in his mind one person to throw it to. When that person wasn't open, what does he do? He hesitates and he doesn't know what to do. That's why you've got to have a backup plan. There were multiple times, too, where Pons lost the ball. Pons is a great player. He probably has the most upside and the most talent on the roster. But he needs to learn how to dribble the ball. There were plenty of times where South Carolina, again, give them credit. Their coach had a good game plan. They obviously read the scouting report where he would have the ball and they would make him put it on the floor. See, with Pons, you want to make him put the ball on the floor because he can't dribble. And they poked the ball free multiple times. All that being said, go Vols, and I'm hoping to go to the NIT game in Thompson-Boling Arena. But the future is bright. Will Triple J ever be a first-round NBA draft pick? I doubt it. But he makes smart basketball plays. He can hit threes. He can contribute. He's going to be a good player. Gaines, when he learns how to flow within the game, when it slows down for him, he's going to be a good player. Conwell's going to be a good player. Next year, you got Pons, who I could see being all SEC, 6 men of the year. You got Fulke, who's great, and that loss isn't on Fulke. I understand he's going to say that, but that loss is not on him. If this team did not have Fulke, they wouldn't have been in that position. They would have been blown the hell out. And this season, they wouldn't have won more than 2 or 3 games without Fulke. So I don't want him putting that blame on him, but I respect him for doing that. But you're going to have Fulke and Pons and the best recruiting class in Tennessee history next year. So go Vols, get ready. And Rick Barnes is a great coach. I don't care what any of you guys say. Rick Barnes is a great coach. Tennessee's going to be top 10 next season. Go Vols. Support the team the rest of the way. Don't be a bandwagon.